Mambo vipi everyone, and Karibu to Veli Podcast, the #1 Kenyan music podcast. I'm your host Veli. We are in the final episode of Wakadinali 2022 documentary. And before we get to the documentary, I'd like to remind y'all, hit the subscription button, turn the notification bell on so you get notified every single time we drop a new episode. Also, to support this show, check the link on description to purchase any of our merchandise. We've seen how Wakadinali as a unit move and how each and every member use their abilities to make them East Africa's most sought out rap group. In this final episode, I'm going to look at how Wakadinali transformed their art to what it is today after finding themselves.
Na sasa kuna ndani ya Cockpit 2, which hakuna mtu amesikia ngoma yote kutoka ndani ya Cockpit 2. Hizi zenye new sikia tu za kuachocha, yani still, yani hiyo ndani ya Cockpit 2 tukitoa itakuwa life changing for everyone. Sisi pekee good, hata marapa wataenda class kidogo, unajua ni poa mkilearn from ndani ya Cockpit because it's major ndani ya Cockpit 2. Na tunaplan tuwapatie EP before to drop ndani ya Cockpit 2, lakini acha tuone, tutawaambia msijali, lakini mjoi itakuwa kitu noma, kitu big. Hii album inaitwa Ndani ya Cockpit 2. Imekuwa produced na RS66, producer wa Big Beats Africa, na pia kuna maproducer wengine, kuna Kid, kuna Victor J, kuna Clueless, kuna Alex Vice, kuna Jero. Unaona, tuko na features, tuko na Dyana Cods, ma brothers wetu waitwa TNT, tuko na Calligraph Jones, Anderson tumewa feature. Na basically hii tape inaongeanga about vitu si ukitianga kwa hood, unaona. Basically ndio Kenya tuna try kuongelelea, yani lifestyle yetu, vitu si ufanya, hatuwezi kudanganya, kama tumesema hapo ndivyo ndio venye inakwanga. Unaona, basically tu ni hivyo. Na ndani ya Cockpit inamaanisha mind state fulani yenye uko ndani ya Cockpit, uko ndani ya mind state fulani. Kasa hizi si tuko ndani ya mind state ya hustle na kuget wera na kuchange lives zetu, kutry kutoka Islando kwa vumbi mingi huko. Hiyo ndio mind state yenye saizi tuko, na hata ukisikia yote kitakuwa ni basically about that, yani.
Ndani ya Cockpit 2 drop on 1st December 2018. And as you have heard, it was produced by RS66 and released under his label, Big Beats Africa. As always, Mkadinali was on the forefront to push their project, and what a better way to push it than using his braggadocious element. For instance, he tweeted this, and this was before they had dropped their album. And after the album dropped, he tweeted this. Ndani ya Cockpit 2 had for the first time 2 best Kenyan hip hop groups in a song, not only one but 2 songs. And after they released the album, Wakadinali dropped the visualizer to their song with TNT and Calligraph Jones. The song was titled Moja Safi, and the visualizer was released on YouTube. What followed after the release, they dropped singles, and they decided to package all those singles as an EP for fans to consume all together as a project. And from my observation, I think they did that because the 7-track EP had a lot of bangers. In 2019, they released their first and last visuals of the album Ndani ya Cockpit 2. Mangana Manangos was released on 2nd April 2019. Welcome to Islando na Mangana Manango. Woke up so early. Fun fact, Ndani ya Cockpit and Ndani ya Cockpit 2, masters rights belong to RS66.
Hivyo ndo tulifanya na Wakadinali. Ndani ya Cockpit 1, Ndani ya Cockpit 2 ni zangu. So unaget? Wamenilipa, yani unaget? Wamenilipa, hiyo ni kitu kila kitu wamenipea.
That same year on 18th July 2019, they dropped one of their biggest anthem, Morio and Nzenza.
Morio and Nzenza is a hit too.
Morio and Nzenza ili hit hiyo idha. No hip hop would have hit, manze. It called about gang. But Morio and Nzenza munga alipotea, manze alipotelea for like months. Then alikuja rings. Na Morio and Nzenza.
Ati reputation is same then nilipigwa na ndenga. I can believe these days nilitoka jail nikapigwa na ndenga. Hili ni was pekee.
Morio and Nzenza.
The song didn't peak as soon as it dropped, but rather later after some months. While Morio and Nzenza was going into a sensation, Wakadinali introduced Dyana Cods to their fans with the visuals of the song. This came as the first video they had done with her, but actually she had worked with them before.
Yeah, Codes is in the building. Yeah, Codes manze ndio another artist amesanya Wazuza Nation. So tumekam na yeye officially kuambia wase ako hapa manze. Some joy, she's the one girl.
Yeah. Man. That Atoti dab is crazy.
For real.
I'm digging it.
Under Zoza Nation, Dyana Cods was signed, but actually she was active since December 2018. She did release her debut single Atoti, produced by Alex Vice on 3rd May 2019. Before that, she had worked with Wakadinali on another single titled Gimme Your Love.
These guys have supported me from day one. You know, Morio and Nzenza, they've been with me since day one. So
when was day one for you?
When I did my first track with them, Give Me Your Love.
On 18th August 2019, Wakadinali released what we can call the second, third, and fourth generation of Kenyan Hip Hop MC collabo. That was Abbas Kubaf, Calligraph Jones, and Wakadinali themselves. The song was titled Highnoon, and it came as an instant hook to their fans, mainly because how hard each rapper came through with the bars. Around September that year, Kenyan hip hop scene was hit with a wave of hip hop MC coming together and dropping cyphers. Wakadinali capitalized on the movement and dropped theirs, and it was titled The Wrong Cypher. This was another song that captivated many with how hard they went in with bars after bars. Even Domani Mkadinali said this about the cypher. The Wrong Cypher has been a major breakthrough in my life for me as an artist. #Wakadinali to the world. Watch and share. Quote and quote. On 18th February 2020, Wakadinali dropped their first visual to Domani's album, Haitaki Asira. And just like they did with Dyana Cods on Morio and Nzenza, the visuals for Kuna Siku Youths Wataungana introduced Bwoy to their fans for the first time properly. Bwoy was the second artist signed under the Zoza Nation label. Also for him, he had been active for a while before the collabo with Wakadinali.
Zoza Nation actually nilwa join kitambo, but me I was not singing. I was writing music. Yeah. So from there nikaona manzeni maandika ngoma mingi. It's time pia mimi nijiandike hizo ngoma. Actually kuanza kufanya muziki nilianza hapo 2015. Yeah, ndio nilianza kuingia booth. Yeah, hiyo ndio time tumepatana nao, alafu 2018 ndio sasa nikaanza kujisukuma kabisa.
Bwoy debut single dropped on 2nd October 2019, and after his debut, he was featured heavily on Sewersydaa Jeshia Katululu album. In the inaugural Unkut Hip Hop Awards of 2019, Wakadinali walked with 7 awards. On 27th March 2020, Wakadinali dropped Lockdown, and the song was in line with what was happening to Kenya during the lockdown period. It was also the second song of the upcoming album, Victims of Madness.
Roll like a real black man, Tomboya, PLO Lumumba, lockdown curfew, nyumba kumi.
On 8th May 2020, they released yet another single off the album, and on this particular record, Sewersydaa's verse was the most outstanding one.
Ndugu ya Sule visually wananiita DOP. On the loose card Schmida.
Lockdown single was just an introduction to Sewersydaa as Mana Driller. When Extra Pressure dropped, fans got the confirmation how Sewersydaa was a great rapper and he had mastered his craft with drill music.
Retired of late. IG model Simta Meriata.
On 23rd June 2020, Wakadinali tweeted the progress of the upcoming album and also shared the album will have Morio and Nzenza, which at the time was their biggest song.
Sasa unajua one of the songs in scope of Victims of Madness ni Morio and Nzenza and Extra Pressure.
Oh yeah.
Like just imagine it's on ngoma mbili already zigo, and we refer to those songs as lightweight, yani jupala hivyo kuna mangoma sasa yani sasa
zile ziko na uzito
zenyewe sasa yani sasa. So ase wakuwe patient. Tunawakia production pia lazima i sound fiti. Tuko na Alex Vice, one of the best producers. Tuko na RS66.
Yes.
Tuko na Africa pale Ndani.
After the announcement on 12 October 2020, Wakadinali released the 4th track of the album titled Triple XL. And what kept recurring is Domani doing the hooks and choruses with each release, and on top of that, Sewersydaa verses kept getting better and winning more fans with each release. The following month, on 7th November 2020, Wakadinali officially released Victims of Madness under the record label Zoza Nation. Even though Ska mentioned there was nothing like a song that changed their lives, I will say Victims of Madness was the album that changed their lives. And all this can be attributed to the internet and the COVID-19 pandemic, not forgetting their plans and hard work. In the 2020 Unkut Hip Hop Awards, Wakadinali as a group won Best Rap Group of the Year and Ska won Artist of the Year with an additional award on a song he was featured by Steph Capella titled Wewe ni Nani.
And the group award of the year goes to Wakadinali! Best Male Artist Award goes to Ska Mkadinali!
And the Lyricist of the Year, back-to-back Ska Mkadinali.
So ladies and gentlemen, Collabo of the Year, Unkut Hip Hop Awards 2020 goes to Wewe ni Nani!
The following year in 2021, after the government of Kenya was lenient with its COVID-19 restrictions, Wakadinali were booked for a club event in Westlands. It was a hard time for everyone, but the crowd that showed up at Blue Door was crazy and huge in numbers. By 1st September 2021, Wakadinali album had already surpassed 1 million streams on Boomplay. This was another achievement the album had impacted in their lives. Up to now, during the recording of this episode, the album has surpassed over 8 million streams on Boomplay platform alone. Wakadinali as a rap group, they were having difficulties in attracting corporates, but when the Hennessy bag hit their door, it was the beginning of a new journey to them. Hennessy did the Kenyan cypher with them, Brida LW, Steph Capella, and Steph. And one member of Wakadinali featured, and that was Domani, alongside Steph Capella, Ecstatic, Elishelai, and Gold Trigger. After the cypher, they also had an influencer campaign with Hennessy Kenya. While doing all this, Wakadinali were filling local joints and headlining different shows in the country. They never stopped for that year. They rocked Oktoberfest by EABL, another corporate gig. Rocked Firimbi Nation, rocked Soulfest by Sauti Sol. At Unkut Hip Hop Awards of 2021, Wakadinali dominated again with Drill Artist of the Year being Domani, Male Artist of the Year being Ska, Collabo of the Year with Avoid Those People, Rap Group of the Year being Wakadinali. They finished the year on a high and started 2022 on a high as well. Currently, Wakadinali have the biggest song in the country off Domani's sophomore album titled Exposed, Munga's Revenge, and Gerinegi is the song which they featured Bwoy. Wakadinali journey was not easy, and for them to stay consistent in the game with projects after projects and solo projects as individual artists for each member, it's a journey that had different obstacles and hardship. Starting from how their former manager tried to finesse them, it's one of the tussles they had to face, and that was just the beginning. They have been facing a lot of rejection in efforts to get accepted by corporates.
Mkadinali are the fucking baddest, man. You guys keep doing your shit. Don't let nobody stop you. After corporate work, bro, we'll find a way. So, keep doing you.
Another challenge they faced, and was again from their camp back in 2021 around July, was when Wakadinali had issues with their beat maker and producer Africa Beats. It was ugly, though not many realized it. From YouTube, Africa had blocked Ska's song Ops, and from Wakadinali's page, he had blocked Morio and Nzenza and Nyara Nyara. I'm happy to know they settled the issue, and a big shout out to Drill Digest for sitting down with Ska to clarify this. Anyway, the issue was out of way because since then, Wakadinali have worked again with Africa, who produced their current hit song, Geri Inegi, and also their songs were back on YouTube after a few days. Remember in episode 1 when I introduced Africa Beats? If you don't, I will leave a link on the description. Make sure you follow to have a better understanding of this documentary from episode 1. As far as Kenyan hip hop is concerned, Wakadinali have had a huge impact in the scene of Kenyan hip hop.
Toka boom bap already tulikuwa tumeshikilia na drill like ukiangalia like tunaweza sema Wakadinali ndio pioneers. Sure sound like watu wengine wamekam kugutuka tukishazoza huko ndio wakashtuka kumbe ndio kitu. So I think Wakadinali like everything wanna touch, to my golden plex hapo. Yeah,
translators every day, man.
Yeah. They have influenced the drill scene in Kenya. This can be traced from when Nati dropped Wrong. The packaging of the song and also the title is an inspiration from Wakadinali. Actually, by the time Brooklyn Boys got people's attention with their drill hit song Nairobi, Wakadinali had already dropped Morio and Nzenza, Lockdown and Extra Pressure. So when Domani says they are the pioneers of drill in Kenya, they mean it because they have influenced the drill sound in Kenya, and when they started, people didn't care much, only to jump on the bandwagon later on. Wakadinali have never had any beefs in their career. What they have experienced in their career is controversies, like the one they had in Switch TV. Most of the time, Wakadinali are misunderstood. For instance, this time that they were at Trace East Africa Radio, it was a heated discussion between Domani and Calvin, but the good thing, Calvin understands Wakadinali, and the discussion was off air.
You know one thing, NCSK doesn't make enough money for the government jolly about it. You know, 20 million, 50 million. You only do any Ruta and I give on a regular day, bro.
Of course. You always say Makitukai, because we always have to be very respectful of other people. I want to a break. Hey, bro. Obviously, say my hivyo for national. No, because you see at the end of the day, kuna kitu inaitangwa. That's why we don't do this.
I wish that's why we don't do these things.
Wakadinali never want to do interviews because they want to express themselves with no filters and talk freely. And this most likely is when they go to mainstream media. Misunderstanding them seems won't stop anytime soon, as recently this happened.
Hello. So, there's a very popular Kenyan song that is being used by us, the masses, and it's being sung by everyone, and one of the even corporate. And one of the popular parts is Mbwa, and that verse actually has a place that says, has a line or lyrics or whatever that says, hatuitishi ruhusa kuguza. How is that okay? And why is no one saying anything about it? And why is everyone choosing to ignore that part?
Perhaps what many thought was their beef was when they had an exchange with Jua Cali, and this is how it started. What fueled Jua Cali to tweet this was due to a misunderstanding they had before.
But the reason why he talked because bado tulikuwa na history, tulikuwa tumekosana yani jo hiyo ngoma hiyo mambo mbaya yani unaona. Hiyo sasa ndio ikaleta the whole thing hadi akaongea hivyo unaona, because it was so unnecessary for him to say that. Unaona. Yeye ndiye alifungua njia ya mimi kumwambia whatever I want to say. Hata sisi zimgotea lakini namheshimu but sawa.
What many didn't know is Jua Cali had done a song with Wakadinali way back before. Jua Cali organized for a video shoot of the song. When Wakadinali showed for the shoot, they were informed there was another verse included in the song and the video will have the added verse. Wakadinali being wrong-rende, this did not sit well with them, and for that they refused to participate in the video shoot. So Jua Cali ended up not shooting the video, and when Ska says they already had issues way before, that is what he was referring to. The exchange on Twitter was heavy until Wakadinali and Jua Cali were trending, which actually was the first time Wakadinali trended on the platform. The second time they trended was when Wakadinali were being called out for Gerinegi. So what actually keeps Wakadinali together, even though they seem troublesome and controversial?
Streets are full of bumpy roads, lakini siwezi cross mzebra, siwezi cross brother. Mzebra, siwezi cross mzebra. Streets are full of bumpy roads, lakini siwezi cross mzebra.
Lazima ufikirie.
Brasta yuko cross. Acha venye mapainting wanatukosanisha acha venye mablera wanatukosanisha, lakini najua streets ziko hivyo, ziko na bumpy roads, lakini siwezi cross mzebra. Siwezi cross mzebra. Kwani mimi ni blind? No. Mr. cross mzebra. Najua mablera.
During the recording of this documentary, Wakadinali was scheduled to drop Ndani ya Cockpit 3, All Grown Up, on 4th July 2022. And also they were scheduled to drop The Wrong Cypher 2.0.
Na plus kulikuwa Ndani ya Cockpit 1. Ilitoka mga 2016. Sasa sasa tumedu Ndani ya Cockpit 2. Basically we drop this year. And by 2021 tutatoa like All Grown Up, tutakuwa zaesa hiyo. Tutakuwa dina watoi nini, sasa lazima tuelea kufunga hustle.
Wakadinali have shared a lot for some time now about their future plans. They were working on a pay-per-view event in 2021, but it didn't happen. They are yet to materialize on it.
Right now, we're coming with a pay-per-view platform where people will be able to perform and make your own money.
That's very intelligent.
Investment ka hizo ndio tunatry kufanya. Unaona Wakadinali and the whole as a nation. You feel me?
From me, what I'm expecting in future to see happen is this what Kevo shared on Nini podcast.
Bro, I hope Scam na watch kitu bana. Wakadinali, my niggas, I hope you're watching this podcast, fam. Nyinyi sasa ndo wale wase, bro, me I'll do whatever yani, niambieni tu. To help you fill up that carnival, my niggas. Just say the word, just say the word. Sai ni time yenu manze. A lot of eyes ziko kwenu. A lot of fans wanna expect big things from you, manze. So you gotta, bro, heavy is the head and you wear your crown.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this documentary, the Wakadinali 2022 documentary as presented by Veli Podcast. If you are new here, kindly make sure you have hit the subscribe button. As for me, I've followed Wakadinali way since 2018. I mean, their journey has not been easy, and it has been full of ups and downs. But one thing I'll say, the success that they are enjoying right now at the moment, it didn't happen by night. Wakadinali, starting from the 3 members, each one of them has their own capability. Ska up to now, he has 2 projects. Domani has 2 projects. Sewersydaa has 2 projects. All of them as a group have more than 3 projects. It means they applied strategies and plans just to make them push their careers as rap artists from their first album up to their current album, and then the 4th album they are telling you, Ndani ya Cockpit, All Grown Up, and like they said, it will be like the last installment of Ndani ya Cockpit series. And in many interviews they have said how the internet has helped them to grow their music. If it were back in the day, probably hatungewasikia. And from Veli Podcast, we'd like to wish Wrong Rende, aka Wakadinali, aka Team Zoza Nation, all the best in their endeavors, and I believe this is just the beginning. They are yet to conquer more. And by the way, if you didn't know, Wakadinali, courtesy of Scam Mkadinali, he did name Veli Podcast as the Wrong Podcast.
Yo, this is the Wrong Podcast. Kama kawa manze, unajua keep it wrong. Scam Mkadinali, Mr. Riz Mangwai, aka Scam Mkadibangi, Master Cove, manze. Unajua kama kawa, we keep it wrong. Rende manze. Bwoy.